Hi everyone, for this video we're going to be going over week 3, step 2, and my name is Ganning, and this is going to be part of Bit Project's serverless curriculum. So let's get started. From step 1, you should have this code right here. If you don't, go ahead and go watch that video that Emily created. The first step, it says receive an image from a push request using Parse multipart. Now, this is going to be code that you wrote in the emotional gifs lesson. So I'm going to be pasting this code in without really explaining it. But for a quick rundown, we're getting the boundary, getting the body, and using the boundary and the body, we're going to parse it using parse multipart and get the parse body. So that's the actual data that we have. So that's going to be done. Check. Cool. Upload an image using the Azure Blob SDK by naming the image test plus the correct file extension. So we just did that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create another function in this. It's going to be an async function. What this async function does is, what async means is that this can happen in the background. So other processes can happen before this happens. This is just for optimization because we're going to be making a request in this and we're going to be sending a file over which is quite large. So async function, function name, which is upload file, the parse body, which is going to be this, and then the extension such as .jpg, .png, etc. So after that, we're going to need to get a reference to the container. What this means, it might look a bit cryptic at first. I totally agree with you. So what we're first going to do is we're going to grab a blob service client. The blob service client is, if you'll go into you go into Azure, let's go into the storage account that you just created from step 1. And this is what's known as a blob because this is blob storage, right? Blob service, this is what's blob storage, and we're going to grab it via the connection string. And you'll notice that right here, this is where we're setting connection string as a constant. But during testing purposes, I don't have an environmental variable set, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab my connection string there and just comment out that line, say const connection string is equal to that. So just for testing purposes, we're going to use that, but once we actually commit our code, we're going to use this top line right there. So after that, what this service client does is it allows us to interact with this entire storage account. So after that, we're going to grab our container name. If you'll notice in on our containers, what we're going to be uploading to is a container called images. Let's type images there. And then container client means this is the actual client, or this is the thing that you're going to use to interact with this with the images container. So we're basically just grabbing a general thing and grabbing a specific grabbing a specific client out of that general thing. So after that, what we're going to do is create a blob. And we're going to name the file always test. Our files in this will always be named test. And so test.jpg, test.jpeg, test.png, etc. After that, we have blob client equals container client.get blob client. Oops, did not mean to delete all that. But what that does is this line is going to grab the blob client from the blob name. The blob name is going to be this. So this is what we're going to use to actually upload our image. So it says, how do we upload? Go ahead and copy that code. Do that. And so this is the line of real magic here. We're going to use this blob, which is created from this line right here, get the body data, get the data, and upload it right there. So, or data.length, so the length of the data. And then what we're going to return out of this function is going to be something called file saved. And that's going to return out of this function. And we're going to need to call this function in the module.exports, which is the main function we have. So this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done. Yeah, so heading back to our module.exports function, it says, how can we determine a file extension? So if you remember in our parse multipart video, in step 2, what we had is we had something called parse body 0.type. And parse body 0.data means the actual image data, but type means whether or not it's an image PNG, JPG, or JPEG. So what we can do right here, it says ext, but let's set the x variable first. By doing this, we're allowed to access this x variable outside the scope of this if block. So we're going to check if the file type is a PNG image, then we set the extension to PNG. If it's JPEG, JPEG, etc., until we reach this, which means that it's invalid. So after that, what we're going to do is I'm just going to copy this word for word from the directions, and we're going to use this upload file function. So we're going to grab this image, the extension, and finally upload the file and return response message. So let's go ahead and try this out real quick. Let's make sure we don't have to do anything else. So yeah, let's go ahead and try this out. What we should get is a response called, oops, it says port 7 is available. Interesting. That is because I have another thing running on another computer. Sorry about that. Or another VS Code terminal. But all right, let's stop that service and run F5 again. Now this should work. Emotional GIFs. Wrong one, sorry. This one's gonna be bunny image upload. Go ahead and paste that there. We need to set this to post. Go ahead and click in body, form data, upload this file. Click send. And you'll notice that it gives us a file saved. So no errors, which is great. Let's go ahead to our blob, and you'll notice that we have something called test.png at 5:08 p.m. It's 5:08 p.m. So that was the file we just uploaded. But yeah, if you really want to see what I uploaded, by the way, I will show you. This is what I uploaded. How do I do this? There we go. This is what I uploaded. It's just a file of image. But yeah, so we know that this function works. So let's go ahead and we have done this. Store our function URL to your repository secrets with the name bunny image endpoint. So let's go ahead and deploy this function. Notice that before deploying, I'm going to remove this connection string right here, and we are going to use process.env because that's more secure. You don't want to be uploading your connection string to GitHub where everyone can see your code. So to deploy this, we're going to go ahead and hit this right here, click this deploy button, and click, I think this should be in Serverless Demo 1. Click deploy, and it's going to deploy. But yeah, while that's doing its thing, we can get the function URL. So it says add to repository secrets with the name bunny image endpoint. So if you remember how to get to repository secrets, you go to settings like that. What you can do is go into secrets, actions, new repo secret. Oops, sorry. Let me just make sure I don't already have this. Yeah, so bunny image endpoint, go ahead and go into this right here. Go into, I'm just going to open this in a new tab because I want that link. Go ahead and open this, and you'll see that we have a function app right here. So let's go ahead and click into that. We want demo serverless. Whoops, sorry about that. That's the wrong one. Serverless demo 1, like that. Go ahead and go into functions, go into bunny image upload, get function URL, copy to clipboard, and what we're going to do, and we're going to paste that there. Add that secret, blob URL. So we can do the exact same thing. So to get our blob URL, what we're going to do is go to the bottom, click this right there. It says this should be your account name. If you'll go into our database right here, you'll notice that our account name is serverless demo storage. So let's just replace this part with serverless demo storage. Add secret, should be good. Cool. So that's done right there. Commit your code. Always good practice before committing your code. Test your code first locally. So let's do that. It says file saved, which means that this URL is actually working, which means I'm going to go ahead and let the console bot check our code by committing this. So to do this, I'm just clear. Let's do c git add git commit -m add bunny image upload git push origin -image. Ooh. Oh, sorry about that. I'm actually on the wrong branch. I will go ahead and fix this issue. Don't worry about this. You probably won't have this issue, but I'm going to go ahead and fix mine because I accidentally messed this up. I'm still on the emotional GIFs branch, but I will fix that and be back in a second. So I have pushed my code, and what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and create a pull request. And yeah, so let's click create pull request, and you will see that ConsoleBot will check our code, and I will be right back after this finishes running, this check right here. Yeah, so ConsoleBot approved our changes, and then I merged our code, And yeah, so that's it for this video. But yeah, let me know if that helped, and feel free to ask me if you have any questions.